Ladies and gentlemen, final patch.
There remains much to be done. Always happy to help. Take
Champion! Azeroth needs our help. She is trying to send me a message. A warning, methinks. But something's not right with her. Meet me in Sholazar Basin up in Northrend. Together, we'll get to the bottom of this.
Like it was telling me originally to go to Stormwind. It's like, really? Game? You know, I'm going to take the portal to Wormrest. Thanks. But yeah, I think that part of the problem is that WoW rogues have almost never been what you'd normally think of the archetype as rogue. Even going far before, you know, the current theming of the three specs, rogues were basically just dual-wielding warriors who had utility. And don't mistake me, the utility was good. And also none of this is counting PvP. But really, they were the dual-wield fast hitters. That was their shtick. Which, if that sounds familiar, that's kind of what the swashbuckler is. You know, outlaw. You could argue rogues were rogues in vanilla. I wouldn't even argue that. Extremely glass cannony. If they got caught out of stealth, they were generally dead. Avoiding combat rather than fighting it. You know, stuff like that. Back when keys were so commonplace that rogues were considered mandatory for some runs, just to avoid needing them.
Ah, you're getting close. Come to the Maker's Overlook, high in the eastern mountains. I'll show you the way inside. A shame Bran didn't come with you. Nothing my brother loves more than opening Titan doors.
It does seem to be a thing with him. If you remember, we poked at this very briefly during our Sholazar quest, and I realized what it was, and I immediately turned around. Subject identified as ally of speaker. Annihilation protocols suspended. Thanks. I hate to have to break even more Titan stuff. Subject vitals within normal parameters. Good to know.
All right, I've got everything set up on this end. Activate the power conduits, and the pad will be operational. Here you go. This pad'll bring you deep below ground, to a place no mortal has walked in millennia. The Hall of Communion. Come on down. I've got a lot to show you.
Sure, that sounds safe.
The Titans built these halls to watch over the soul of the world. From this chamber, I can hear her, clear as diamond. Lately, she's seemed troubled, hard to read. I hope you can help me get through to her.
Well,
Something's triggered the defenses. Careful now. You've got company.
It's fine. I got this. I got this.
These phantoms must be her dreams, her nightmares. If we help her overcome these horrors, Azeroth should be able to give us her message.
That reminds me. Heartbeat warning for anybody who has issues with that. Also, I forgot to retimes it. Remind me to resync before we go to Argus. because I'm not synced right now.
I sense her fear, her doubt. We've got to help her. Looks like some of the defenses are down. If you reactivate them, it might help snap her out of this.
Hi, DeCastus. I'm managing. I don't want to sound complainy.
Talking to a world soul ain't like chatting with a mortal. Might be why she needed someone to become her speaker.
Today's what I call one of those wake up with a headache days, which means I'm just going to be dealing with a headache all day. This is a good scenario, by the way. I apologize for not being synced for it, but trust me, this is a fun one. And like so many of the good ones, there's stuff you can do other than just beat up the enemies, like assisting these guys.
She's haunted by the Legion and the old gods. But there be something more. A greater darkness.
Battle for Azeroth. Sorry. Yeah, she means the jailer, clearly.
That's it. Her thoughts be clearing up. She's feeling fear. Watch out!
So, giant demon monster looking thing, which is the amalgam of torment. Has a bunch of fun attacks. I think you can work with the terrain. Yep. In order to kind of fight against it. And you can drag it to some of your allies, too.
Your courage will fail.
You did it! The nightmares are contained. Keep going. I'm just ahead, in the next chamber.
By the way, nothing indicates that, other than if you know, but that is the voice of Cthulhu. Now, Cthulhu's long dead, of course, but we're not fighting anything real here. These are all memories. Threat to signatures neutralized. Facility defenses at 74.39%. Repairs in progress. Subject Azeroth. Minor arrhythmia detected, but vitals within acceptable parameters. Incident reports updated.
Tis good to see you. Yeah. Now that the nightmares are gone, we can find out what she wants to tell us. Give the word, and we'll begin.
Can I admit something? BFA tried very hard to make me hate Magni, and failed. I like Magni. He's a wonderfully flawed character who's actually been through some interesting crap. But, and this is the critical part, there's an old saying. This is true in real life, actually. This is a very real-life concept, but we tend to see this in fiction, too. When you go through some crap, you have the choice of the kind of person you are when you come out of that crap. You can come out with the best of yourself, or you can come out with the worst of yourself. And I will always give Magni credit for going through some crap and doing his best to become a better person because of it. And, well, I think he managed it, as of War Within.
Our world needs us, champion. Fight for our world. Talk to me, lass. Tell me what's got you all in a tizzy. Her feelings are a jumble. I need to focus. Let her thoughts flow into... Sands soaked in pain. Rivers. Rivers of blood. Skies of flame. A sword in the darkness. The wound is burning. Sargeras. The Dark Titan comes. We've got to stop him. Argus, the Legion's homeworld. She says our destiny lies there. Looks like we've got some preparing to do, champion. You best tell Khadgar what we've learned. Good luck.
Sargeras is such a wonderful nightmare when you really think about it. No, really think about it. He's arguably sentient, but he also might not be. The Sargeras is the broken robot trope. He is an AI doing what he thinks is correct for the entire galaxy. And what he thinks is correct is destroying everything. Etch-a-sketching everything down to its frames. Exactly, Master Man. Like I said, it's actually the realm of debate, as opposed to codified fact. He is a broken robot who happens to be a planet-sized Titan. He is a wonderfully horrifying monster because, unlike many other types of monsters or enemies or villains, you cannot negotiate or coerce or convince Sargeras. He is firmly stuck in his data loop. He is so stuck in his data loop that one of the biggest things he has tried to do over his career is try to convince the other Titans that he is correct. Also, yeah, did you catch that? Sands soaked in plain, that's Silithus. Rivers of blood, that's the Azurite. Skies aflame and a sword in the darkness. Yeah. Actually, yeah, Blateval. Yeah, Sargeras is kind of an environmental threat. The difference is, the main distinction between Lavos and Sargeras is Lavos was this huge, supremely powerful thing. Sargeras has enslaved the demons. All of them. In order to do his bidding. And so you have this a horrifically complex and advanced supercomputer guiding and directing and coordinating all the demons simultaneously. Which is why the Legion is such a threat.
You've arrived just in time.
This warning is an ill omen indeed. It seems the fate of Azeroth is tied to that of Argus. We must uncover the Dark Titan's plan. I believe the Speaker's connection to the World Soul will prove crucial. Stay vigilant. You must trust in Magni's guidance.
You are always appreciated.
Ever since the Legion invaded the Exodar, the Draenei have been hard at work preparing a vessel. At long last, they have a ship that can take us there. The way to that dreadful world open, we simply could not ask for a better opportunity to strike. Prophet Villain called for you specifically. You should make your way to Stormwind Harbor right away.
Remain vigilant.
At long last, the vessel that will usher us to Argus is complete. Make way to Stormwind Harbor at once. The time has come to bring an end to this war.
Oh, you're almost assuredly correct, Maskerman, but here's the funny thing. Do you think any of the Titans view us as sentient? Moral relativity. They do not think we are alive, therefore it is not murder if they kill us. They do think of us. We do actually have proof of that. But when I say they think of us, let me put it to you this way. I hate to keep using programming analogies, but if you're putting together a program and it doesn't work quite right, does it even bother you to, like, adjust it or reprogram it or change its code or delete it?
We will soon see if the Horde heeds Belen's call. Those savages lack any sense of honor. But they do know how to fight.
That's funny, considering
We
honor...
must find the Army of the Light. With them fighting alongside us, the Legion will fall. We must find...
Your mother and father yet live, Arator. I am sure of it. But for now, stay focused on the fight to come.
I don't think you realize how accurate your statement is there, Bladeserfall. Oh, we're in Stormwind. We're in Stormwind. Right. I almost forgot. I knew there was a reason I was slow-moding. Sorry, double headache. blaming it on that.
It's like meeting again for the first time. I always have time for you. It's so nice to see you. If you find a powerful weapon, just make sure it isn't corrupted by the Burning Legion or old gods, okay?
Okay, we're resynced. Sorry. I guarantee you the actual core writers, especially Metzen, are thinking of it in exactly the manner you just described. Because you're right. We are the rampant AI. We are the Geth.
Baladash, Malinor. Remember those we lost.
The Tomb of Sargeras was only the beginning. If we don't destroy the Legion utterly, they will return stronger. We'll travel to Azumus by sea to avoid drawing unnecessary attention. The less time the Legion has to react to our assault, the better.
Together we will save Azeroth. Looks like they showed up after all.
Of course we did, Verisa.
Remain vigilant.
Prophet, Villain, and the others have gathered in the vaulted lights below. There's an entrance just below this path.
Come. I will show you to the Vault of Lights. The others await our arrival.
Yep. Draenei and Blood Elves. Again.
I've never seen the Draenei assemble a force of this magnitude.
Argus is our ancestral home. We will not see it in the Legion's hands any longer.
Yeah, Velen's
Then
pissed.
My parents can finally return home.
By the way, you're gonna see me...
Draenei,
Damn it.
champions of Azeroth, the time has come to invade Argus. We will save our world and put a stop to the Burning Legion, once and for all.
So you're gonna hear me gush a lot over the upcoming day, because I like a lot of Argus. However, there are two major plot beats which are extremely stupid. So, I'm just warning you right now, we're gonna get several triple negatives.
Desperate. We should strike now, while their attention remains focused on Azeroth.
You are right, Illidan. This may be our best chance to gain the upper hand.
Okay, can I talk, please? Okay. Thank you, Sturdy Reluctance, very, very much for a full year of support. I appreciate you. Thank you. And I've put that towards Factorio, Artspace, Shipbreaker, and Quake 1 and 2. So, Silgrin, Aethys, Liadrin, Eretor, Boros, Verisa, quite a few of the Hand of Argus, Illidan, and of course, Velen. That's actually a good point, Blade Cheval. And that's a very good question, unfortunately. The easy answer is whether it bothers you or not. I know that's extremely vague, but it's very vague on purpose, because at the end of the day, how much it disturbs you, how much it's like makes you go, is pretty much the definition of it. Contrivances are like all fiction is. They are lies. They are fiction, right? They don't actually exist. And so, because of that, any writer's goal is to try and create a substantial amount, a substantive amount. In other words, a sufficient amount of evidence to make it so that you're willing to go along with it, so that you're willing to believe it, right? So when you look at this particular coincidence and you say, oh, bullcrap, then generally speaking, the writer has not done their job properly in suspending your disbelief. If you look at it and you're like, maybe. And if you look at it and you're like, yes, that makes perfect sense, then that lines up. So in this exact case, I can tell you that this lines up for me. Because all of the dominoes, the three primary dominoes which I've been tracking, have all been being built up for literal years of real time. And some real honest work has been done into laying the bricks so that those dominoes could be lined up properly. In this exact case, to use another example, Star Wars A New Hope is a good example of this. It is a hell of a coincidence that Leia, 3PO, and R2-D2 end up on Tatooine, essentially within driving range of Luke's farm. Now, what's interesting about that particular coincidence is how much that bothers you varies based on the specific point in question. No, really, think about it for a second. Let's view A New Hope just as A New Hope, just within a bubble for a second, okay? So, Leia coming here in order to find Obi-Wan specifically, because that's her goal, remember? Bringing with her two droids, which have this information, and ending up interacting with Luke, who happens to be right next to Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan is watching over Luke. That's not a big deal. Like I don't know about y'all. Sorry, I'm talking from a personal perspective. For me, those coincidences line up perfectly because all of that makes sense. There's a clear throughput there. The fact that Luke's dad built 3PO, that is obviously a retcon, but that is the point at which I start to go, wait, hold up, what? The fact that R2-D2 is R2-D2 and has never had a mind wipe, and you get my point, right? So like individual elements of this can work or not work depending on how much, well, work is put into making it. Going into this situation in specific, not that I want to talk about this too much, Velen has been relatively passive for most of his career, by all accounts. He mostly just runs and hides and runs and hides and runs and hides. But thankfully, we actually had a whole sequence back in Warlords, the previous expansion, which was all about developing Velen as a character. Now, that was alternate Velen. Alternate Velen even died for what he was doing. But when the moment came, when there was a chance to jump, he did so without hesitation. All he needed was the proper provocation. So that's one of the bricks laid down there, right? We also know, and this has been true since the beginning, that Kil'jaeden has always had a personal vendetta against Velen. So, Kil'jaeden sending Velen's son, corrupted into Fel, in order to kill him or be killed by him, that lines up too, right? So those two pieces were well established before we got to the Battle of the Exodar. We get to the Battle of the Exodar, Velen's son is killed right in front of him, and he is officially done with this crap. And his attitude noticeably, I love the actor, his attitude has been different ever since that scene. Velen often speaks with a sort of almost casual patience to his voice. But if you've been paying attention lately, there's more tempo and more verve into how he speaks. And there's just this undercurrent of anger beneath everything he says. Complete variance, which makes sense because he is officially done with this crap. And Illidan gave him his shot, now it's time to jump, and he is jumping. Make sense? So all of that, same thing as back in A New Hope, but there's a through line there. It's like Wenlock, you know? Thank you, Wenlock. Always appreciate you. Actually, yeah, as Mirister, that's not a bad comparison. He is a very ancient being who remembers things from millennia ago as if they were yesterday, and he has not gotten over it. We're going FF14 patch trail, WoW patch within, and WoW midnight. So, hi Evo, I don't know if I said hi. Today's what I like to call a double headache day. It's great. Yes, I've already taken pills.
Not all who wander are lost.
Anyways, I hope that at least partially answers you, Blade Duvall.
The light will guide your way.
Everything is prepared for an assault. We need only establish the beacon to transport us to the vessel.
Lend me your strength, champion. We will open the way together.
See what I mean? His speaking is literally faster and has that undercurrent. Even just something as simple as saying, lend me your strength, champion, we will open the way together. You know, he could have said that. Voice direction is so important. Lend me your strength, champion. Together, we will open the way. Right? Conveys a different tone than, lend me your strength, champion. We will open the way together. Different tone.
The Exodar has long been crippled by the crash that brought us to this world many years ago. Every spare moment, every resource has gone toward the birth of a new vessel. Our instrument of retribution.
A freaking spaceship.
Come, children of Argus, allies, champions. The Vindicar awaits.
Also, canonically, I should mention that all of the player characters are going through and with this. I should also mention, canonically, this also means the Exodar is defunct from this point onwards. I kind of hope Midnight does something with that, because, again, obviously MMO time and all that stuff, but no, like, the Exodar is functionally gone. They strip-mined the Exodar to make this ship. So there isn't really an Exodar anymore. There's just a ruined... Well, there's a ruin. There's a husk of a ruin.
My brethren in the Army of the Light await our arrival. Only together will we achieve victory.
The light will guide us to them. Ramul, begin final preparations and ensure our forces are accounted for. It is time.
Actually, Ismiristar is quite correct.
Right away.
I didn't even think about that. Everything... The Draenei certainly have had advanced magical technology in their past, but every ship they've ever traveled on has been a Naru ship. This is a Draenei ship. The first Draenei ship.
Something is amiss on this world.
What we do this day, we do for Azeroth.
Let me know when you are ready to depart.
Be
All forces are on board and accounted for. The Vindicar will be ready to depart shortly.
After we reach Argus, we will meet with the Army of the Light and begin our invasion.
Does he understand what you're truly asking of him? Do any of them?
We follow the path of the light. No
Non-answer.
matter where it leads.
Your faith has always been your weakness. When your closest allies fell to darkness, you didn't stop them. When the Legion swept over your world and took your people, you didn't make a stand. All you did was watch, convinced you were following the Light's will. The truth is, you failed your people. Their blood is on your hands.
You will never understand what I did to save my people.
The Light is holding you back. It's time to forge your own path.
Prophet, we are ready.
Proceed.
God, I love Argus. It's not even a whole planet anymore. Hasn't been for a long time.
Where is your army of the Light?
The Zenadar. Something is wrong.
The cowards have come out of hiding. Bring them down!
Legion will fire again soon! What are your orders, Prophet?
We make our stand. The last battle for Argus has begun.
Also notice that the Vindicar looks like a Draenei ship. The, oh god, I can't remember the name of the other ship. The Zenidar looks like one of the pieces of the Exdar ships from back in BC. Wonderful visual continuity there. So I know several people are going to have haggles over this, but I love that cutscene we just went through. I think the best thing about it is Illidan is mostly just being a dick, but ends up kind of coincidentally being right. Like, Velen... It's fascinating the way it's struck. Yeah, I hate the trailer talk. I agree with you on that. But, Velen is abso-freaking-lutely right. Illidan has no idea, not even a clue of what Velen has already been through in his lifetime. Like, Illidan's old. Velen is like twice his age. And when you're already talking in the Millennia Rage, that's saying something. And I also love the fact that, yeah, Illidan's he's just talking smack, right? Your light has failed you. Your light is holding you back. But the funny thing is, he's right. I don't think he even knows he's right. But he does something very important. He plants a small seed of doubt in Velen. Now, one of the things I just talked about was that when you go through something, you can come out of it with the best of yourself or the worst of yourself. This is a huge crisis of faith for Velen. Him being back on his home, him dealing with all of this nonsense. He needed that extra push, as weird as that sounds. And Illidan needed someone to be able to finally tell him, you're not the boss of me. Like, nobody ever talks back to Illidan. You ever notice that? I mean, people tell him, oh, you're a monster, but nobody ever actually contradicts him. Nobody ever actually pushes back against Illidan. They either say, oh, you must die, or they say, yes, master, I'll do whatever you say. Velen says, no, you don't know what you're talking about. And so the two of them pushing back against each other is going to unintentionally help both of them quite a bit. By the way, I'm just putting this out so some of you who didn't pay attention
blast will decimate
notice.
us,
Damn it.
unless we strike first.
The Light's Heart is here. That's all.
While it is still recharging. Ramul, deploy a bunker below.
Bunker deployed, Prophet.
We require more pylons. So, the Light's Heart is the core of a Prime Naru named Zira. So there's Argus. We'll talk about Argus proper in just a second, but do me a favor and take in that skybox. This is probably the single best skybox they have ever made in this game. And I'm not even counting the fact that the planet is right there. I've actually gone out of my way to try and not show this shot several times. I don't know. I don't know how to put that into words. What it's like being up here and staring down at Azeroth. Oh, and by the way, that's not just some random thing. They put a lot of work into this. If you look, there's a floating chunk of rock right there. Just behind that is a Shara. You can actually tell that little island that's barely visible. That's I can't remember it. It's the Goblin Bay, right? That is Azeroth down there. Oh yeah, notice there's a lot of Legion ships slow-moting their way there. The invasion is coming. The invasion is currently in the way. From this patch onwards, we are officially in a hurry because we're on the clock. 3 separate times. I'll try to discuss these as we go to make sure nobody misses them, because some people didn't even notice two of the ticking clocks we have going on here. But the third and most obvious ticking clock is the fact that the Legion is here and currently ready to invade. If you, by the way, if you just sit and wait, the whole planet rotates. So there's Kalimdor. If we give it a minute, the Eastern Kingdoms will pop into view. If we give it another few minutes, we'll be able to look up and see the Maelstrom from all the way up here. But look at the planet itself. It is so cracked and broken. There are lakes and oceans of fel and fel structures and machinery and technology in all direction. It's even animated. Some of you probably noticed. This is exactly what a fel, broken world looks like. God damn. Forgive me for giving several visual positives, but holy crap. Yeah, this is what happens to every world that is consumed by the Legion. Not all of them are consumed. Some of them are just burned. But every planet that becomes another outpost for the Legion, this is its fate. So.
We welcome your help. Many depend on you.
That's funny.
The Legion will meet its end.
Champion, we will suffer the same fate as the Army of the Light if the Legion fires that weapon at us. Descend to the siege camp and destroy it while we can.
Romul, send our vanguard to establish a front.
Activating transport array.
Champion, we will descend together once you are prepared.
On your mark. We will endure.
Yeah, this is the most Protoss the Draenei have ever been, and they've been pretty Protoss several times. Also, I just want you to do me a favor. Take in the look of the Vindicar there. Very Draenei, right? Kind of dull, subdued purples and blues with kind of almost an undersea color scheme. Like that kind of deep aqua tinted with green. I don't know what to call that, but yeah. Do me a favor, keep that in mind. That's actually going to come up later. Our home, what does it become? And remember, it's not just the players who have never seen Argus before. Pretty much all of these people have never seen Argus before. Or rather, some of them have never seen Argus, period. Some of them haven't seen Argus in entirely too long.
Hold your ground! We must protect the Vindicar with our lives!
I do love the shields to try and deal with the artillery as the ground battle is raging down there.
Without faith, the battle is lost.
The Devastators bombarding our forces prevent us from advancing any further. I can only protect us from their blasts for so long. Champion, pierce their lines and remove the barriers protecting the Devastators. You'll find no sanctuary in this world. Even now, the full might of the Legion rises to defend Argus. The siege camp below overflows with filth standing between us and the weapons train of the Vindicar. They must be dealt with before it can fully charge, or Argus will be our grave.
The Vindicar cannot fire upon the Devastators until the barriers are disabled. Hurry!
Done.
We will not be able to hold this line for long.
No, they won't. So a little side tidbit here. Most of these mobs are actually elites.
These are some of the Eridar's greatest warriors. Do not underestimate them.
Not all of them are.
Help me!
But quite a few of them are mobs that, frankly, you are not supposed to be fighting. You're supposed to let the NPCs just kind of hold them there. people enslaved, beaten within death's grasp. Help us.
You have my thanks, outsider. May our paths cross again.
That, if you couldn't tell, was a broken. Which anybody who's paying attention would immediately be like, what the hell are broken doing here?
Do not engage the conquerors alone. I can sense their power from here.
There is no fighting them. With each death, they return.
Now,
must resist. Must fight. The light cannot be found here. Only death.
oh, absolutely, Logue. You'll notice they're even using us, the player character, appropriately. What is effectively the entire army that we brought with us is just holding the line, while we, by ourselves, pierce those lines in order to do damage behind them.
The Legion's bodies overflow with fell energy. The Legion has not been idle here during their crusade.
There's also another plot point several people actually missed. They've already hinted at it twice, if you're paying attention. One, a Fellbound Drudge says there's no point in killing them with each death they return, and the other is Illidan just now mentioning that the Fel is overflowing within them. You're probably thinking, what's the significance of that? Demons, if they die in the Nether, permanently die. So why aren't they permanently dying? This right here is the value of establishing something in your continuity and in your setting. Because if something goes against that continuity, you know something's up. Or the writing's bad. In this case, something's up. I'm just going to give that away. Don't mistake me. There's bad writing in this patch, but that's not it.
Fire!
Don't worry. I've got plenty of things to give negatives to later. Don't worry. Don't worry. Well, by all accounts, they weren't doing it on Mardoom, J. Palmer. Only here. Which makes sense. Think about it. Gameplay conceit, J. Palmer.
Behold the might of the Vindicar!
No, for good and for bad, this is not FF14, and we do not have a lore explanation for every gameplay mechanic in the game.
Those who disobey are sent to the forest. None return. The earth writhes in agony. All life, fuel for the Fel.
There's a lot of life on a planet scale.
There is no fighting them. With each death, they return.
I should also mention that what's going on here with them being restored when they shouldn't be is, by all accounts, very recent and localized to Argus itself.
There is no fighting them. With each death, they return.
You know, that's an interesting question, J. Palmer. And if I'm being honest, I don't have a good answer for it. Slave labor, maybe? I don't know.
Be purged by the light!
Our souls fuel their magic. Even death has no solace.
Okay, time to take out this artillery cannon. As soon as I kill these. I don't know, J. Palmer. Nope. One-handed axes, one-handed swords, fist weapons, warglaives. I guess keeping them around for fuel does make sense, just in case they can't, get a ready supply from another planet.
Not all who wander are lost.
A cowled figure. They did not attack you. Most curious.
You are the instrument of change.
There is no sacrifice too great. The Legion will stop at nothing to destroy our world. I will see this to the end.
The army of the light will not have fallen in vain. Our forces will assault the main encampments while we destroy the siege weapon. This is but the beginning of our vengeance.
Let us destroy this foul machine while we still have the chance.
There are no guards this close to their weapon. Something is wrong. This is no mere siege weapon.
This is a Garothi.
We must stand together.
Or more accurately, an Antaean. Garroth himself is actually an Antaean. We don't see very many of these, so I just wanted to call attention to it because they're very rare. From what little we understand, the Antaeans were a species that were consumed by the Legion long ago. And very, very, very few of them survived. Which is why we only see literally a handful of them. Like, I think it's 4 total. And all of them are significant. We'll actually be fighting Garroth later, but you remember how I keep referring to Garothi technology?
Senator's fall shall not have been in vain.
Well, that's why.
Feel the hatred of 10,000 years. It is not my destiny to fall at your hands.
Over here! Hold fast, champion! The Goliath wavers!
Look out! Whatever that thing was, I doubt that was the only one in Sargeras' arsenal. Soon the entire Legion will descend upon us.
We will hold our ground. I only pray there are survivors among the army of the light.
Do not sit idle.
You know, this is going to sound like a weird statement. The Argus sequence feels like an FF14 quest arc. Anyone else get that vibe? There's no padding here. There's no fat. This is main plot central. This is like the last zone of Endwalker. Our forces sustain heavy losses defending the Vindikar. We require allies. The Army of the Light was known to take in survivors of the Crusade to bolster the ranks, and we must do the same. I sense the presence of the Legion slaves nearby. I suspect they have carved out resistance. I would appreciate your company.
We won't.
I mean, we're even in space.
Sustain another attack from one of those creatures. We must bolster our forces.
That's the goal, Eva.
Grokul's slaves fled somewhere further down the ridge as they were freed. They could not have gone far. They could be valuable allies in our fight.
You assume much of their loyalties. Risk your life if you must. I will prepare our forces for the inevitable counterattack.
As you wish. Come, hero. I can feel their presence not far from here. Not all of my people left Argus when Archimond and Kil'jaeden made their pact with the Dark Titan. Many joined the Legion willingly.
Notice we've already layered.
Into Sargeras' false promises of power and glory. Those who realized the truth sought escape, but found themselves trapped in this nightmare. How they have survived this long, I do not know.
Also, I just want to point it out because, as I've said many, many times, Illidan can be right by coincidence a lot, but that doesn't mean he's always right. He's actually wrong a lot. This is a good example. Without the assistance of the Krokul, this would have gone much worse, and Illidan would have just been like, eh, and immediately moved on, presuming automatically it's not even worth the time or effort. Illidan was wrong.
Without faith, the battle is lost.
Be on your guard, champion. The Legion is skilled at deception. We may well be walking into a trap. Stay close. We are being watched.
I mean, now that Huthor's here, Illidan was right.
Familiar.
Yeah, he was wrong and an ass.
Prepare yourself, champion. We are surrounded.
Yeah, I'm not super worried.
Show yourselves!
Verlin, at long last you return to the home you abandoned.
That voice. Hatun? How did you survive this hell for so long?
We changed, just as Argus did. We endured. What choice did we have?
I have no wish to fight you, Hatun. But I cannot allow your bitterness to impede our war against the Legion.
Damn, Velen.
You turned your back on your people, Prophet. Your world. Such betrayal should be answered with death. But your allies saved many of us from the Legion's grasp.
You're welcome.
Perhaps you have changed.
Enough!
So, that's Tyrellian.
Stay your weapons! The Prophet and his ally are not our foes. We must stand together, all of us, if we are to have any chance of defeating the Legion.
High Exarch Tyrellian, we meet at last.
Something is amiss on this world.
Hatun's people saved me from the Xenadar's fall.
Notice we can literally see it through the hole there.
Fortunate. They hold the ground around the crash site, fighting for their lives.
So this is a relatively minor thing. If you've been paying attention, we've seen Tyrellian a couple of times. He looks different here. And that's all I'm going to say, but I'm just pointing it out so you see the difference.
We fight, we survive.
Great evil exists in Argus, and our forests house some of the worst of it. My wranglers are at the edge of the forest and waiting for reinforcements. That would be Yule.
Beware the Legion's wrath.
There's much to be done before this nightmare can be ended, but we need to regroup before we can draw more attention from the Legion. I managed to retain a signal crystal during the crash used to call transport beacons from the Xenadar. With luck, we should be able to use it to establish a link between here and your forces.
Dionys Arca, walk in the light. When you are ready, we have much to discuss.
Let's do the other quest first. So, there's a Garothi, just patrolling out and about, like you do. Oh, is it not going to let me? There it is. You know, I've answered that 3 times to 2 separate people now, Yura. Yeah, Dionysaka. Dionysaka.
What is it? The Legion will pay.
My warriors stand no chance against the smallest of the Legion's forces without crag scalers. You can capture a few and bring them here, and my warriors can better defend our people.
Take caution.
Here in the forest, species of Talbuk and Panthera still roam. However, the balance has been disrupted, and now Panthera risk hunting the Talbuk to extinction. To ensure survival, we must decrease number of Panthera. Don't let their suffering linger. Swift death is merciful.
We will endure.
I was actually just thinking the same damn thing, Magister. I guarantee you that if the Legion wanted the Krokul to be gone, they'd be gone. Like, I'm sorry. Nope. If you like the forest, by the way, you may have not even caught that this is the forest. You could see because of all the trees all over the place. The scroll details a dark spell to steal the souls from Krokul to create a new demon, the Urzul. Interesting. Hey, Five. Welcome to Argus. I suppose I finally answered Blade Duval's question. Argus is, of course, the name of the planet, but it's also the name of the endgame. Those used to be trees. That's a good way to put that. Oh, I think you missed it, Evo. Hang on, do you mind if I show you something? You gotta turn this in really quick. I don't remember when you poked your head in. There we go. Over here should be a good shot. Oh, it's right there. There it is. Maelstrom came around. Do you see it? There's even a red core, visible even from space. That's Northrend, right above it. Up there coming around is Zajara. You can actually see Durotar right there. Boy, ain't that a shot. Yeah, it very slowly rotates. I forget how many minutes it takes to do a full rotation. But you will see the whole planet, and no, there's no hidden Arathi continent. I know that's such a minor thing to be upset about, and I know nobody in the world cares except me. But when you have actually shown your planet in full rotation from space, maybe think about not adding new continents to it. Like, there's all kinds of other things you could have done with that. They might actually give us an excuse for why we can never see it. We'll see. That's a big question mark right now, which is why I'm reserving my irritation for the moment. I must have missed it. I'm sorry, Blitchville. You know, it might not, J. Palmer. It is sufficiently cursed. It might actually avoid that. Well, what's funny, as Mirastar just gave it away, islands not being visible from space, that makes sense, right? Like, pick out an island on Earth from space. On a clear day, maybe, but come on. Because, for those of you not aware, we've got Kultiras, we've got Zandalar, we've got the Dragon Isles, we've got Khaz-al-Ghur, excuse me. But all of those are, in lore, islands. Not even particularly big islands. So, that doesn't bother me. So we'll see what they do with the Arathi. You know something I saw on TikTok today? Making a birthday cake out of old shoes. Sorry, that's a joke. Yeah, you can see the United Kingdom from space. And I was about to list another island, but I can't think of the name of it. It's the one off the coast of Morocco to the west. It's a Portuguese settlement for forever. Is that the Canary Islands? God, I don't know. My geography is fully dependent on video games. What's that? How is there an invasion point up right now? Oh, you're gonna make me look it up now. Ah, I hate y'all. All right, hang on. I blame you, Pikachu. Let me just zoom. This is how I look up things when I have to. I just pull up the map on Google Maps and then drag until... Here we go, these things. So, that's apparently... I don't know what these are. Las Palmas? Yeah, these are Las Palmas. There we go. Okay, cool. That's what Google Maps calls them. Okay, that is the Canary Islands. Hey! You were right. By the way, hey, Huthor. Hey, Huthor. Huthor. We've been to space. Oh, that sounds good. Off the deep breath. So, I'm actually not going to give the negative to Legion, really. But BFA is going to get an automatic negative for the existence of the Vindicar. It's baked in. There's no getting around it. You've introduced a spaceship which has a mounted cannon, which can attack from orbit. Now, talented and careful writing can explain why that ship is never used again. But... it got destroyed? Nope. It's not last I checked. Only has the power to fire once? Man, I hope not. Because we fire like 5 or 6 times just in the story arc. It's borrowed power. That's it. The Vindicar had to be shoved into the sword. I mean, that was actually the end of StarCraft 1, right? Okay, I started that sentence as a joke, but I'm starting to like the idea. What if the Vindicar... Like, what if the Vindicar either was or was part of, you know, sealing off the sword? That's actually not a bad idea. And it's even a logical way, because you would need a fairly large chunk of power to actually successfully seal that freaking sword. I mean, it's not a small sword, right? And yeah, no, that actually tracks for me. Holy crap, why didn't they just do that?
I greet you. Farewell.
The Legion will pay. Farewell.
You have my thanks. My wrangler should be able to take it from here. If I could ask one more favor, pass a message to Chieftain Hatun. Tell him the forest is secure once again. I'm sure he'll reward you. I'll loan you one of my fastest crag scalers for the trip.
We will.
Yeah, the thing is, the Zendikar is just there. You make a new light forge, guess where you end up?
Argus will always be ours.
Uthor. Uthor. Okay.
I will lead my people through any darkness.
Okay, hold on. Which one, Masker Man? There's so many. Okay, we do have a mission board up here, it looks like. Maybe? We don't?
Yes, outsider.
I swore we had a mission board up here. Am I on crack? Am I hallucinating? No, we saw Lothraxion during both the Priest and the Paladin Order Hall quests. Enjoy seeing him. This is the last time I'm going to see him. Here we go. I knew it was here. Thank you. Okay, so, yeah, hi. Yeah, Oh my god. Okay,
Your wish is my command. It will be my pleasure.
Death to the Legion.
Wait. That is a 16-hour mission. That's a good question, Huthor.
I hope you find something useful. Safe journey.
Can someone look up the quest, Remnants of Darkfall Ridge? Right there, it's that one. I think it's not, because it's unlocking Crocun followers and equipment missions. So I think we're okay. But I didn't think there were any follower missions out here. Ignore that. Have to abandon that.
Chronikai Christor. For millennia, the Army of the Light has waged war upon the Burning Legion. Battles, skirmishes, sabotage. We were committed to our cause. Either we would end the Legion's crusade, or they would end ours. When at last our final assault on Argus began, we knew we might not survive it. And when the Zenidar was hit, it seemed all hope was lost. But the light never abandoned us. It called you here and gave us another chance at victory. What we do with that chance, that is up to us.
I mean, I kind of do this, but like Torellian is... So that's Travis Willingham, by the way. Great actor. He does some good stuff. You may recognize him from everything in the entire universe. Seriously, this guy has done anime. He's done animation. He's been in films, and he's been in a lot of games. Tales of Vesperia, Street Fighter 4. He's the voice of Guile. He was in Halo Wars. He was in Final Fantasy 13. He usually plays someone named Jugo in Naruto stuff. He's a lot of stuff in Armored Core. He's done a whole bunch of stuff. He's in GTA 5. He's in Metal Gear Solid Revengeance. Now you're probably thinking, hang on, when I hear someone with that kind of voice, I think of him as being heroic. For example, he voices Karax over in StarCraft 2, the engineer guy. What you may or may not remember him voicing is someone like, say, Gazlowe. Because he's the voice of Gazlowe. Hey, whatever you say, Commander. That guy. That's him. I like Travis Willingham. He's got some good range. He was in FF7R1. I don't know as who. It says alternate voices. He apparently is the voice of Thor and Doctor Doom in Marvel Rivals. He's one of the more recent voices of Raiden. He played Aced over in Kingdom Hearts. He's Jaro Tapal in Jedi Fallen Order. Oh, and you might know him from Critical Role, which is probably where you actually know him from. But yeah, no, he's been around for a while. He's like a 2005 kid. Sorry, my bad. Looks like his very first voice acting work was 2001. So he's part of that era. Yeah, so one of the things I find funniest about him... Hang on, I gotta find it. When did that game come out? Because I don't remember the name of it. There was a game we reviewed, which he was in as, like, the main character. There it is, Binary Domain. He is in Binary Domain, and he plays a guy whose love interest is played by Laura Bailey. And I know that's a dumb thing to find funny, but I find that freaking hysterical. For those who are not aware, he's married to Laura Bailey in real life. Oh, also, he's the voice of Knuckles in a lot of the animated stuff, as in Knuckles from Sonic. Sorry. He's cool. Okay, so let's see. Raise 6 followers to 900 item level. Then get resources, then do 3 missions, then 6 followers to 925, and then to 950. Oh my God, Uthor! Okay, let's just give that a triple and move on. Let's just triple that negative, and we're just gonna move on. I don't even feel like it. Moving on.
The Army of the Light stands ready. Light guide us. We fight for home.
You know what? Hang on. Real quick. Not that I'm aware of. No, J. Palmer. Here it is.
Hey, time is money, friend. And you're out of both. What's up? Let's show him what you're made of. Dorium. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moon's light?
That is...
We stand together.
The same actor. Sorry, I just wanted to give you the immediate contrast there.
My faith is my shield.
In time, Hatun and his people will be set aside their bitterness and become valuable allies. But their trust must be earned. He says their village is beset by a demon called Agonar and his cruel kin. We need to seek these fiends out before we can seek out Illyria and the others. The chieftain lent us his horn. Use it to call down his people's vengeance on the lieutenants, while I carve a path to the lair.
This ridgeline will guide you to the pits. Stay low. We'll regroup shortly.
Hatuan's people have endured arduous times. Their numbers dwindle as those ripped from beyond the walls of their sanctuary become servants to Anialan and the pits beyond. Well, they actually call them Anialan here. Sorry, Pit Lord's species name is Anialan. Just like Dreadlord's species name is Nothrazim.
Light guide us.
Let's do it. Yeah, I like Travis. Of course, I like Laura Bailey, too, so what the hell do I know?
Even when tortured by the Legion, my people rebel against their accursed crusade. The demons may break their bodies, but never their wills. Go, release their spirits so that they may find peace.
I've heard a few of Blades of All. Crazy, crazy few. That's actually a really good question, Jay Palmer. This has always been the realm of pure headcanon, but I've always figured that Pit Lords were more like Magnetar before they were Fel-infused. And I know, there's not that much of a difference, but if you ever look at a Magnetar side by side with one, you can see the difference. It is also worth noting that Pit Lords might be one of the true original demons, like Masker Man was mentioning earlier. As I mentioned earlier, we're not even sure if there is such a thing as original demons. They've never gone that far back with that. Also a bit of escalation syndrome here. We are now fighting Pit Lords on a regular basis. Sargeras is 100% not a demon. It has been argued many times, and I agree with this argument, by the way, that he is not even corrupted. He is just a Titan. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Everything he's doing makes perfect sense. That's what makes it so messed up. Well, he's definitely using Fel. But I strongly argue he is not corrupted. No, it makes perfect sense. This is the finale. If we've played Final Fantasy games before, how many times are bosses suddenly trash mobs in the last dungeon? FF4, behemoths. I will admit I'm one of those people.
The spirits of those who resist the Legion inspire us all.
Who was not a big fan of the Nothrazim retcon. But I have to admit, I've never... This is going to sound strange. I've never thought about it critically. Only emotionally. You know, that knee-jerk, ugh, kind of reaction.
Our chains hunger for your flesh.
So, we'll see when we get there. We'll see when we get there. Here's an interesting one. We have fairly decent amount of evidence that the jailer doesn't exist. Even as of the quests we're doing right now, the jailer probably still does not yet exist. I'll actually point out a small bit of evidence of that. Hopefully today. In the Antorus raid. However, the Nothrazim retcon, they probably already had a thought about that. Revendreth and Denathrius is definitely something they had planned out more in advance. Well, we're still only in the first zone, Jay Palmer. And the second zone's the story-heavy one. The third one doesn't have much going on for it, if you remember. The third one's mostly just the end-game zone. You know, the Keldanus, right? The Timeless Isle. Yeah, the third one is the... You're ready to go grind with the big boys, right? to do the end game grind. If you're not, you'll find out very quickly. I actually distinctly remember getting to the third zone and just... It was on an alt, and just getting run over. Just getting completely overwhelmed. And you're probably thinking, wow, that sounds irritating. I loved it. I absolutely loved the fact that the third zone beat my teeth in. I know that's strange coming from me, but I mean that with total sincerity. You'll notice there's no flying out here, by the way.
You will kneel for you.
Oh no, I heard a lot of people complain about the third zone, and I am just not one of those people. I love it. It's the end game. It's the heart of hell. It's what Icecrown should have been. You know? It is the central unified fortification of the enemy. If anything, it should probably be worse than it is. Yeah, it's the capital of Argus. It's right next to the Burning Throne.
Come, face your death.
I know. What I would have probably done differently, Huthor. So, you know, the second zone, the renamed second zone, is like the big story finale, and then the Wastes in the third zone is the gameplay finale. I would have swapped it a little bit, right? Make it so that the end game story zone is the big horrifying can barely function because holy crap death. And then the gameplay zone is more like, you know, this one up here. That way the gameplay zone is just another end game zone, just like any others. But the final story zone is the one that's kicking your teeth in. I think that would have been a better call, personally. So...
Keep your head down.
So this is Turellian, right?
The light welcomes you, champion. Walk in the light.
These pits have long been a blight on the lives of our new allies. The demons hunt them for sport and torture them. He shakes his head with disgust. It's time to make them pay for their cruelty. We strike on your mark.
We didn't come this far to falter now.
Oh, I much prefer Eridath. What pissed me off is they renamed it after I finished the Warcraft series. And for those of you who don't understand what a production line is for making a video series like the Warcraft, there's no just going back and patching that. It would effectively have meant remaking every single video that had the name in it from scratch. I elected not to because of sanity. And time, really.
Ready your weapon.
Your souls will burn!
Whatever happens, we stand together.
Eridath also just fits better if you think about it.
This day will be your last, demon!
Is that all you have to offer? Your flesh is weak, your bones brittle.
I fought your... Do not relent! We end this beast!
You are no match for our power.
Oh, did you notice that? There was a negative to story there. I fought your kind for 1,000 years, demon, is what he just said.
Minions of the flame, feast upon their flesh.
Do not give in!
Oh, hello, Illyria.
Perfect timing.
I have made a habit of saving you from the grasp of demons. The beast weakens. Strike true.
Focus your attacks. I'll hold his attention.
Are you all right, Turellian?
I am. In no small part thanks to our friend here. But Illyria, there's something else. When the ship from Azeroth arrived, I sensed his presence. I would know it anywhere, even after all the years we've spent apart.
Arator. He's here.
Yeah, no, this was kind of a big moment. Mostly for the lorehounds, like me. But still, seeing Illyria and Turellian again, especially together like this, is just like, what? Especially since Arator has actually been in the game since BC. Really, really, really summarized rejoinder. This is Illyria Windrunner. Yes, that Windrunner. She's one of the 3 Windrunner sisters. She went to Outland, excuse me, she went to Draenor during Warcraft 2. That's Turellian. He also went to Draenor during Warcraft 2. The 2 of them elected to stay behind to close the portal before the devastation of Outland happened. They had a son before they left, named Arator. They're here, on Argus, fighting with the Army of Light, which actually makes a lot of sense if you track it. So that's cool and awesome, and I even go so far as to say plus-worthy. This is going to be one of our external continuity passes, because this is specifically tying in Warcraft 2 in a way that makes sense. Turalyon. I'll never remember how to do it. No. BC was when Arator first showed up. Oh, I see what you're asking. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Well, if you were paying attention, Trihexia, she is already using void arrows. Now, one moment, I need to look up a timeline thing. Because remember, the timeline changed. So I don't know my numbers by heart anymore. And yes, please repeat your question. No, I don't remember Illyria's voice actress. I'm actually going to argue for 6 negatives for this. And I am not joking. It's 3 for one thing and 3 for another thing. And I am not a fan of them. It has just for years ruined my enjoyment of this. Up there she is, yep. Mara Junot. Oh wow, that's the only character she voices in WoW. Liam O'Brien, I have never heard him have range. Not once. He is a good actor, make absolutely no mistake. But if you hear him, you can tell it's him immediately. Let's see. Mara Junot. Oh, she's an Arcane as someone named Shula and Jules. I don't know who those characters are. Off the top of my head. She's the voice of Sindels and Serena over in Mortal Kombat. Obviously, she's Illyria in WoW. Bunch of smaller voices. Bunch of voices in Starfield. She is apparently the main character voice for the Char female in Guild Wars 2. That's cool. Actually, now that I hear that, I can hear that. Because I actually have a female Char in Guild Wars 2. Ikora Rey in Destiny 2. I'm not sure who that is. She's the voice of the Mists in God of War 5. She's doing a bunch of stuff. Sorry. I always like going down the rabbit hole on some of these. Ah, oh, that character, you know. Anyways. So, timeline. Let's double check this here. So, year 6, okay? Someone remember that number. Year 6, year 6. And this is year 32, okay? So that's what, 26 years gap, something like that? Can't math. That feels alright. 26 years. So, it's been 26 years since the events of Warcraft 2 in lore. Now, I know y'all are like, wow, 26 years, that's nothing. As a curiosity, and you don't have to answer this out loud, what percent of your life is 26 years? Because that's over 50% of my life, for example. Like that's over the halfway marker. Yeah, 26 years is a long frickety time. So let's just get this out of the way. Let's just chew on these negatives. I've been prepped to give these negatives for literal years. Let's switch music. I like this Legion music. It's very atmospheric, but listening to it for long periods of time gets old. So let's get a song that's appropriate for giving negatives to World of Warcraft. Here's the deal. Here's the idea, okay? So Illyria and Turelion have been here, well, not on Argus, but I mean in the Nether, fighting the Burning Legion ever since the events of Warcraft 2. That means it's been 26 years of non-stop warfare against an enemy that has functionally infinite forces. That's horrifying. In fact, that's so horrifying, it's actually legitimately hard to mentally process what 26 years of guerrilla warfare is even like. Most people cannot imagine... Yeah, I was actually just about to use the same... Most people cannot imagine fighting solid against an infinite army for 1 year. Never mind 26. That is a gargantuan chunk of time. And they're fighting the Legion, too, so the consequences of failure are worse than death. Literally. Now, you're probably thinking, that sounds awesome, Lore. What's the problem? So for reasons best left to the imagination, some writer somewhere, I don't actually know who, it might be Metzen, he has an obsession with big ears, decided to say that it hasn't been 26 years, it's been 1,000. They actually have a term for it. They call it the 1,000-Year War. Illyria and Turelion have been fighting for 1,000 years over the last 26 years. Now, let's explain how stupid this is. This is why I argue this deserves 6 negatives just right out of the gate. So first and foremost, time is weird, and the progression of time is different. And you know how much I hate that kind of plot point. But even if you're going to do a plot point where time flows differently, do something with it. Do anything with it. Do you know what is accomplished by this 1,000 years? Nothing! All it is there for is to make it sound like they've been fighting the Legion for a long time. That's it. That's the point of the 1,000-Year War. Gee, it's almost like them fighting 26 years, 2.5 decades of non-stop guerrilla warfare would have accomplished the exact same thing. So it's pointless and purposeless and dumb. Just on the face of it. Even if you're going to do this kind of time dilation, which I'm already against, this doesn't work. But then you get to the second thing. And the second thing is this time dilation is stupid on every level for the same reason it always is. People don't understand what time dilation does to a setting. People don't understand what happens when you introduce the possibility of having time go in different rates in different areas, because there's so many things you can do with that in universe, especially if you're aware of it, which they are. Have you ever heard of the freaking hyperdimensional whatever in Dragon Ball, where he goes and trains for a bagrillion years so he can get super strong? You can do that in time dilation. If you know that there's a place where time is squished, you can go there and spend years building or training or gathering energy or whatever. Hyperbolic time chamber. Thank you. I knew one of you would know what I'm talking about. And then you just pull it out. For you, it's been 500 years. Outside, it's like, oh, yeah, no, cool. It's been 20 minutes. We're cool. It destroys settings. When you add this kind of controllable time dilation, what you have done is you have destroyed your setting. Yeah, the Legion could literally go and set up the metaphorical and or literal factory in the freaking in the time bubble, and then just produce troops quickly, and then they pop out saying, "Oh no, we've defeated the Legion just barely." Phew! Well, there's another army 20 minutes later. But again, even if they somehow hand-waved this away, which it's worth noting they did not. That would be terrifying, is what that would be, Blade Joel. But even if they somehow hand-waved this away, when I refresh, they did not. It doesn't change the fact that they do nothing with this. It's the exact same problem with freaking Magatha. Well, I've got an idea. Let's introduce time dilation to the story. Why? I apologize, but this has pissed me off since Legion was new. When I first heard about the 1,000-Year War, I got angry. And you know me, the way my memory works, everything was just last week. So I'm still angry about last week. So, 3 negatives for the fact that they use time dilation and don't think about it, which is what Loke mentioned, and then 3 negatives for the fact that it means nothing. I'm not even get into the fact that Turellian is now literally a millennia old. They at least say, oh, he's been Lightforged, which apparently gives them infinite life. I don't even know. I think we gave it, hang on. 1, 2, 4 negatives in FF14, something like that. Why 3? Because 3 is the cap by my own rules. And this pisses me off more than most time dilation stories do. Yeah, Turellian is literally the oldest human in the setting because, I don't know, does he count as human anymore? Oh, I shouldn't be getting this angry when I have a headache. Back to our regularly scheduled program.
We stand together.
The Pit Lord won't trouble our new allies any longer, till another takes its place at least. If there's one thing I've learned in our 1,000-year war against the Legion, it's to savor your victories as you find them. Come, let's take a moment to regroup back at your vessel. Illyria and I have long waited for... Yeah, you guys have waited 1,000 years to see your son, who, by the way, is only like 20.
We fight for home, for family.
Every day, for 1,000 years,
Ah!
I thought about what I wanted to say to him. Now, though, words fail me.
I know, my love. I feel the same. But once we see our son, our hearts will speak for us.
I mean, that is indeed the problem, Huthor. Hang on, where's Load? You think this deserves 5? I'm sorry, do you mind clarifying? Because I'm giving this 6. Yeah, what did you have for breakfast 3 days ago? Hang on, I got a better question. What did you have for breakfast 26 years ago? What is 26 years ago? That's, 99? So, January of 1999. What'd you have for breakfast? January 28th, 1999. What'd you have for breakfast? No, it's 2000. It's 2025. Zara. Where was I at that point in my life? I would have been there. So for what did I used to eat for breakfast? I don't actually remember eating breakfast, because I had to eat something. Because I've always had the blood sugar issue ever since I was a kid. Can you name a worse example of this, Logue? Because it's two things that are terrible, and that's why it's 6. It's 3 and 3. I think I actually have high blood sugar. I have something weird. I don't actually have like diabetes or anything like that. I was born with something wrong with my blood sugar, and I say blood sugar. I shouldn't even say that. Excuse me. That's a lie. I was misinformed as a child to think it's blood sugar. It's actually protein that I need. And may or may not be iron related. I've never actually gotten that looked into to the point to give a definitive answer, but I need protein on a regular basis. Otherwise, I go wonky pretty hard. Like, I get the shakes and everything. Yes. By all means, Uthor. Oh, that's interesting, Uthor. Actually, no, Act. Protein, like stuff that isn't meat, almost never does it for me. Including eggs. Weirdly enough.
But couldn't you have reached out to us? To your people? To me?
It's only been 26 years.
Eretor, not a day passed that your mother and I didn't...
Every choice we made was to keep you safe. It broke our hearts to be apart from you.
Oh, we'll talk more about light forging in a minute. We're not even to that yet. You notice they just introduced this, like, glowing human and don't really talk about why he's here or anything yet. We will get to that, trust me.
It is a good day for a hunt.
Yeah, actually, his sister, Varisa, sorry, his sister, his aunt, her sister, is functionally Eretor's mother. Which makes sense, because Varisa already has 2 children other than him. Our absence has wounded Eretor. I knew it would, but we had to know he was safe from the Legion. Now that reunited, I will not be separated again.
We do what we must for those we love.
Yeah, meanwhile, Illidan's just like, yeah.
A timely arrival. The Legion's arrogance is clear. Pursue them to every world they infest. Show them that they cannot escape our wrath.
No. He visited Outland. It's even in BC. This is true. This isn't a retcon. He specifically journeyed to Outland looking for his parents. So I guess now that I say that out loud, he had to have been on Azeroth and Vanilla because that's where Varisa warned him. I was always correct. You've already been wrong twice just in this patch, Illidan. Don't give me that.
We welcome your help.
For all we've seen, we must remember not to look at the past, but look forward.
The light will guide.
Go talk to all the NPCs around here.
The Vindicar will be the instrument of our retribution. As with any weapon, you should know it well before we charge into battle once more.
Good fortune.
Whoops.
Arcanon Poros. Blessings upon your family. Kronakai Christor. Favor the road traveled by few.
Oh, I could totally see Illidan trying to gaslight people into thinking he's right all the time. Because he is right occasionally. On accident.
Can I help you?
What's that portal there? Let's get back to Dalaran. And why aren't you wearing any shoes? The cold floor helps me maintain my concentration, but you're sitting down. You got me there.
Off and away.
I did not, Uthor. That's interesting. Oh, that sucks, Dakota. I guess that makes sense, but that still sucks. To what, Uthor?
Without faith, the battle is lost.
My faith is my shield.
Illyria and I have long waited, long for more time for our son, but we cannot wait. We must strike now. The army of the light is scattered, but not defeated. Any survivors should have stayed near the crash site of the Zenidar. If there's any hope of victory, we must rally them and rescue Zira. With the pit lords dealt with, we should have a safer route. Meet me at the Krokul hovel.
Dionysus, son. There is so much more we have to say. But our allies at the Zenidar will soon be overrun.
You must go to their aid, Terralion. I will scout behind enemy lines and provide a distraction. We will return soon, Arator.
I understand. Light be with you both.
Stay safe. We will gather the others and prepare for the battle to come.
So I think, if I'm understanding you correctly, Loke, I do agree. It's more insulting because they double down on this 1,000-year war thing. I mean, they did entire audio drama about it.
Found the remains of Agunar. We are in your debt, High Exarch. And yours.
Dominant genes, Evo.
The Legion will only fall if we stand together, Chieftain. And right now, we have friends facing grave peril.
Also, half-elves wouldn't exist until War Within.
We will use what power we have to help you.
A tunnel? So, this is how you have survived.
We have hidden. We have adapted. In our hour of need, this land still listens to our pleas.
I will go on ahead and clear a path. The bridge leading to the Zenidar seems to be the least guarded. Light be with us!
I will be paying attention to see if it deserves more, Loke, because what you and I are both referencing is out of the game, right? And you know my rule on that. If we start giving games negatives and positives for stuff out of the game, oh man, that's a rabbit hole right there. I do like the look of the Zenidar. Even though it's basically just, you know, one of the satellites from BC. They did some good stuff with it. And that's a good point. I forgot Kalik's new model.
You're not going anywhere, champion! The Master has plans.
Man, click to fall.
Not today, monster! The light prevails!
Faria, you survived.
You know that I refuse to die while the Legion still stands, High Exarch. Follow me. We've set up a
Can I just say I love the Lightforged look? In fact, you've seen me in that mech many times because it looks badass. I love their weapons too. Like just they've got this great holy divine look to them. Oh, no, I love how gold it is. Don't mistake me. For myself, I'm not a fan of it, but for the Army of the Light, this is extremely on brand. And yeah, it is more or less hard light. I mean, you could literally tell where the light is just kind of hovering over his armor there, for example.
The Army of the Light stands ready.
Okay. I need to stop derailing and complaining about the game. Sorry, everyone.
Greetings, traveler.
They were waiting for us when we crashed. It was all we could do to establish our small outpost. Even though they drain the souls of our fallen to fuel their attacks, destroy their coffers, free our comrades, and let them join the light. When you finish, find Ymira in this field. She'll be sorely missed, but she will not have fallen. Of this I am certain.
Fight well, traveler.
We will win this war.
Terralion is safe, and we can start to fight back. That's a lot of bads. First things first, secure what supplies we can from the crash. Though we're still blessed by the light, our ships still rely on the crystal technology. From powering our defenses to arming our weapons, we need as much as we can. Venture out and gather what you can. Oh, and keep an eye out for Ymira.
Be on your guard.
I feel like I should get this Ymira person.
Do you require...
If you brought the High Exarch back to us, you are a welcome ally indeed. More is needed of you. You'll see our soldiers out there fighting against Olaf. All odds, defend them, slay the enemy. Every strong word for a priest, perhaps, but every dead Minari is one less blade at our throats. Show them the light protects its chosen even as it scorches the unfaithful. Yeah, remember, light burns. Yeah, there are a lot of Draenei in the Army of the Light, which, if we're being 100% honest, is probably more of a gameplay limitation than anything else. Logically speaking, and within the confines of the lore, the Army of the Light should be a mix of races we've never even seen before. Cast-offs from worlds that have long since burned. But making a whole bunch of brand new alien models for cameos in the background isn't really feasible, you know?
Fuel for the Fel!
So I don't blame them for that. I'm not going to ding them for that. Did they ever explain to their son?
I am the fury of 1,000 conquered worlds.
Yeah, they could have used Lightforged demons. That's true. That would be interesting. It would also be appropriate, wouldn't it? We know the light converts, just like well, everything does, actually. Light, void, fel. Yeah, we could have light Shivara, we could have light Eridar. Well, we have light Eridar. We could have light Noth. Oh, we already have light Nothradim too. Ah! Light Worm Tongues, maybe.
Ship. Even after its destruction, its presence vexes us. Clear the surrounding area of its blight.
Oh yeah, sorry, that ship over there, that's the ship where we fight Kill Jaden on. Anecdote there. It's funny you say that, Lord Harriman. We'll come back to that in about 6 minutes here. Sorry, I'll try to hurry up. I apologize. I'm taking my time too much. Can I just say, by the way, I love that effect down there. I mentioned how the light converts. Really think about what you're looking at down there. That is the crash path. The ship landed there and then smashed up against that mountain. As it crashed, it converted the fel-pocked ground into light. That is what I mean when I say the light converts. Notice it didn't even do that on purpose. It was just so much concentrated light energy that it just turned the ground into that glow. Just by being there. Hurry. Radiant Fel.
Fuel for the Fel.
That's actually a good question, Loke. I'm not sure. Light doesn't necessarily mean life, after all. A friend of mine once accused me of really liking that the light isn't good and the void isn't evil in Warcraft because of how sick I am of how many other settings never do that. No, seriously, really think about it. Certain other settings have dipped their toes into that concept, like Kingdom Hearts did that very, very, very briefly, but then pretty much gave up on the idea immediately and went right back to the light being good and you know, darkness being evil. Star Wars has dipped their toes into that concept a few times and then pretty firmly walked away from it. So, no, the light side is good and the dark side is evil. So, okay. Final Fantasy III did this, and so did Final Fantasy XIV. And that's about it. That's pretty much the list right there. I'm sure there's some other exception, because you know, I'm not familiar with anime or books or anything like that, but I'm sure there are other exceptions. But my favorite is still Warcraft. It probably helps that Warcraft is my favorite setting overall. In Diablo, the demons are bad. I know that sounds shocking. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking the angels aren't good. And, yeah. But they don't ever really do anything with that. Not really.
You have seen but a fraction of our might.
So here's our close-up look at the light, scarred ground. I actually don't know enough about actual Greek mythos to talk about that, Luke. Sorry. Yeah, the problem is, Takoida's right. Diablo doesn't really do anything with it, because in Diablo, everything's bad. The only Diablo game which wasn't grimdark was 3. Oh, hey, the one I liked. That is a coincidence. I like Diablo 3 because it's a great game. Whip. I don't want to fight that guy.
Another demon.
Okay, I guess we're fighting him. Ooh, okay, this, hang on. Okay, hang on. Let's blow some cooldowns here. That's a big boy. Evo could answer your questions about the Hades game, but not me. If you can find an answer for that, Evo, let me know.
Blade and spell, ready to serve the light.
Good work. We'll return in time, but we can use this to our
Keep an eye out
advantage.
for anything useful.
You brought crystals with you. Oh, thank the light. That's just what we need. Look out there. The wings of the bats filled the sky. Looks like the Legion's not yet destroyed one of the artillery batteries.
The Legion
Well,
will
let's
stop
frickin' do it
get to
then.
those batteries and start shooting down those bats. We're counting on you.
Do you mind repeating the question, Jay Palmer? I don't know. I tend to be a big free will person, too. In general. Which is part of why I like it when light is not good and dark is not evil and blah, blah, blah. Because at that point, the point is whether or not you are good or evil. Oh, how many demons do you think each one holds? Oh, geez. A couple hundred, maybe? We've seen how big those are on the inside. We've been into several of them.
Anything can be a weapon with the right mindset.
Interesting statement. We're going to need a bigger gun if we want to free Zira. One of the other bunkers crashed closer to the Zenithar. If Barat was on it, he'll already have been surveying the areas. Maybe he found the main cannon.
Dionys Akar.
Yep, an Archmage in a war zone. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Our cause is just.
Not under too much pressure here. Jesus, I can't even reach him to talk to him.
In darkest night, we still shine.
Light's Judgment has a security feature to prevent it from falling into enemy hands. Could you stop that? We can trigger its recall mechanism, which will teleport it back to the vessel. With the Zenithar out of commission, the gun should recall to your ship instead. You can make good use of it. The process takes time, though.
Light be with you.
Okay, I know how to do a defense mission. I've played a Blizzard game before. Why would you do that, Yura? No, no, no. Yura. Play it with the English voice actors. Really soak it in. Savor every syllable.
I have your coordinates, champion. It will take some time to calibrate the teleportation matrices. Keep it out of the Legion's hands until then.
Hey, that's ours. We saw it first. Now you're dead. Yeah, we need this gun to kill the jailer. Wait. Oh my god. Yeah, every upcoming expansion. All right, here's the main boss of the expansion. All right, he's dead. I mean, I do understand the need to remove the big gun from the Vindicar. I do. But do it. Don't just ignore that it's there.
That should be it. Just activate the console one last time to complete the transfer. I will handle the rest.
The panel is now pulsing a soft golden glow. According to Ramul, I don't know why I'm doing the accent. According to Ramul, activating it should teleport the cannon to the Vindicar. Carrier operational.
Our time is now, hero.
Can you hear me? Ah, good. Light's judgment has been installed in the Vindicar. We should be able to harness its power immediately. We can use it to clear the rubble blocking the Zenidar and destroy our enemies. As with any new piece of technology, we should test it out thoroughly. I trust you have plenty of targets down there.
We will endure.
Well. Yeah, this is officially everywhere. Everywhere is a target-rich environment around here.
Dawn rises. You've done it, champion! Come, let us enter the Zenidar and rescue Zero.
You are no match for my blade.
You, like, piss off so you don't interrupt Aurelian. Thank you.
The light welcomes you, champion.
We must know for sure whether the Light Mother survived. Zero was weakened by sending her heart to Azeroth, but she is the Prime Naru. She is the Light. Okay, I want to jump in really quick here. I hate to give away too much, but...
You are no match for my blade. Dawn rises.
But Zira is not the Light. She's a Prime Naru. But just listen to the casual zealotry in Tyrellian's... in Tyrellian's words. She is the light. She cannot fade. Let's head in and look for her. Light willing, she can return to guide us once more.
I sense Zira in the central chamber. Thank the bend, or you shall break.
I really hate that interrupt
And
tech.
what then? I was locked in a cell for delving into the void against her wishes. Will she make me a prisoner again? Or worse?
Zira will see that you risked your life to save her. Her faith in you will be restored. I know it.
Opium.
Zira, don't worry. You are safe now. Come, champion. Help me guide her to the Vindicar. Then we can get out of here.
But did you catch that little line there? What then? I was locked in a cell for delving into the void against her wishes. Will she make me a prisoner again, or worse? That's wonderful foreshadowing. And also, if I might be so bold, a great way to just slide a little exposition under the rug there. Keep in mind, we don't really know what's going on with Illyria yet. So this is kind of our first hint. Second hint.
The Army of the Light stands ready.
I actually love Zira's appearance. I 100% think Zira is evil, yes. Not all Naru are evil. In fact, as we've discussed, there's several that demonstrably are pretty cool, like a doll. And Mauru was a really cool Naru. But Zira?
My faith is my shield.
I should mention there's a cutscene coming up, which I'm about to give like 12 positives, so...
Walk in the light. Our troops will finish securing the Zenadar. Though we retrieved its most precious cargo, we cannot let the vessel fall into the Legion's hands. Place the beacon at my location. We're coming home.
I look forward to your hate. You never told me how you'd fix yesterday's cutscene, by the way, Uthor. So there's Zira. And there's the Light's Heart. Well, wait, hang on. There's the Light's Heart. Sorry, they moved it. Which is the core of Zira. So, hang on.
Chronokai Crystal. We didn't come this far to falter now.
Do me a favor and watch Terrellian's eyes. If you haven't seen this cutscene.
We are blessed to be in your presence once more, Zira.
Terrallian, you have found the Chosen One. Illidan, from birth, the light in your eyes held such promise for the future.
I sacrificed that birthright long ago.
Do you not wish to reclaim what was lost? To be whole again?
The Legion's end is all I seek.
My child, you've given so much for so little. Your true potential, your redemption, lies before you. Let go of your shattered form and embrace the light's power.
I've traded my freedom for power before.
The prophecy must be fulfilled. Your old life has passed. The light will forge you a new one.
It is not yours to take.
The light will heal your scars.
I am my scars!
The light is your destiny.
My destiny is my own! has blinded you. There can be no chosen one. Only we can save ourselves.
And yes, you saw correctly. The light faded from Turelian's eyes. It's my favorite quiet detail. You'd be shocked how many people did not notice that back in the day. But if we scooch in, we can see he's got his actual real brown eyes now. That's probably my favorite cutscene in the entire game. Like, the whole game, top to bottom. Here's the deal. Obviously, we're not really reviewing the books, but a book came out before this, which was called Illidan. And in that book, they talked about how Illidan was secretly the chosen one who was destined to save everyone forever on behest of Zira and the Light. And that actually pissed off a lot of people, myself included. The idea of Illidan being some great chosen one was already irritating, because it's Illidan. Him being the chosen one has never been his story arc. Furthermore, chosen one stories tend to suck, if you know. So it's like, what? Then, if you're paying attention, when we go through Legion, there's a cutscene several months ago, where Zira actually specifically reaches out to us, causes us physical pain, just talking to us, by the way. I pointed that out when we were doing it. And flat out tells us that Illidan is her chosen one, the one who will lead us all to victory. And that's the catch, isn't it? And that's what I loved. That's the extra oomph. I always talk about that extra oomph that's required to push something up to a purple. This is a purple cutscene for me, because that extra oomph of taking that chosen one garbage and throwing it out the window. Because, yeah, he wasn't the chosen one. He was her chosen one. We will continue to get a little bit of tidbits of exactly how awful of a person Zira really is. And she's that best kind of evil, right? Because she's doing this for your own good. It's okay, I know, you've been through so much pain and hardship. Let me take all of that away from you. Let me just bleed all of that away. Yeah, she didn't want a champion. She didn't want an ally. She wanted another tool. We also get more insights into what the Lightforged really are, and Turelian is one of the Lightforged as well. The Lightforged, it has been argued, aren't really... Well, I don't want to say they're not sentient. That's too much. It's more likely that they probably don't actually have the ability to disobey, is I think how I want to explain that. And if you're noticing, that's a bit of a trend in this setting, isn't it? All Titan Forged have to follow a hierarchy, right? You have to pay attention to and follow the orders of whoever's above you. Period. The end. There is no violating that. Excuse me. Amongst the elements, there's some aspects of that. We saw that in the undead, and how free will was such a huge component of what the undead were, and so forth and so on. And now we see that the light operates under the same precepts. Well, I agree with you, Master Man. I didn't say Zira was malevolent. I said she was evil. I do think there's a distinction. Evil has flavors, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, Luke. The Lightforged are programmed. It's one of the reasons Turelian acts so violently here. And, of course, well, again, we've already and will continue to see several aspects of this. Sure thing. You see Lethraxian up here? Forget he ever existed, Mr. Floyd. He will not be in this game past this point. All right, so now that that's done. Yeah, she wanted a tool. She wanted her chosen slave. And it's funny to me, because what she does here is exactly what Illidan has been doing since word go. I am going to defeat the Legion. I am the great hero. I am going to use other people and resources and powers pragmatically to accomplish my ends, regardless of asking. I will presume to rip the life out of my own soldiers in order to spend them in order to defeat the enemy. I am going to go out of my way to make a bargain with the more or less literal devil in order to try and gain more power to fight against his forces and save my girlfriend. I am going to enslave the broken and literally capture the soul of their leader, etc., etc., etc. And when Illidan is finally on the other side of that, interestingly enough, he finds he doesn't like that too much. Go figure. So, all of that's like the core, like, thematic plot reasons why that's awesome. So, plus, plus, plus. I'm sorry, Hurathor. I love you, dude. I'm gonna give so many pluses to this cutscene. I'm so sorry. So then we've got, oh god, animation, voice acting. I'm sorry, I love the way he says that line. People make fun of it. I am my scars. But no, Liam O'Brien nails that line. Abso-frickin-lutely nails it. I mean, it's fair. It's well acted and well storyboarded. It's a Blizzard cinematic. That's what they do. Fish swim. Cows go moo. Blizzard makes good cinematics. I don't blame you for being angry about it. You know what I would love? They'll never do it. It's too late now, essentially. But this, several people in chat pointed this out. This should have been Illidan getting slapped across the face. This should have been a, this is what I've been like all along, kind of a moment for Illidan. Right? Like, this should be the beginning of a character arc for him. I know. The beginning of a character arc all the way in Legion, but, you know, whatever. Avoid Zera? Oh, Jesus. I don't even want to think about that. Oh, no, we, exactly, Luke. We have seen plenty of Naru who are pretty cool. I named two of them, right? Ure and Adal are both legit. Yeah, what's funny is this is, in my opinion, one of, if not the best cutscenes in the entire game. Not counting Old Soldier. That's a whole other level. And what's funny is it could have been even better. Let's do this. Hang on. Now that is a fascinating question. Do I think Illidan could be a paladin if he had faith in himself? No. Because Illidan, when he's written properly, is predominantly carried by one thing more than anything else. No, not ego. It's actually doubt. Actually, a better word would probably be despair. As much as I rag on Illidan for being wrong and stupid, which he totally is, a lot of what he does is because he's flailing. He doesn't have faith. I'm not sure he has faith in anything. Well, exactly. Later, well, you have to keep going. Hang on, give me 1 sec. I'm just jotting down all my notes for the. I want to categorize positives for that scene. Oh God, is it already lunchtime? Oh, I hate these late start days.
We welcome your help.
This is a... Shoot, hang on. I did not mean to click that so fast. That was literally a misclick. Let me read his turn in. Sir J. Palmer. I have to admit, there's one last... very personal reason I enjoy that cutscene. And it's purely personal. It doesn't affect the... review? Huh. Twitch just sent me a notification saying that several payments that I was supposed to receive from my last paycheck didn't come through. That's actually interesting. Because I noticed that my last Twitch payment was noticeably less than usual. What he just said was, I did not expect this of Zira, nor could I have foreseen Illidan's reaction. We must ensure these events do not crush the spirits of our allies. This is a crucial moment. Our campaign must not lose momentum. Though she has fallen, I still sense Zira's presence all around us. The light that shone within her heart can yet be a source of strength for our cause. No doubt the loss of Zira has deeply wounded Tyrillian. I will do what I can to ease his troubled spirit while you gather the vestiges of the Naru that remain.
Be just.
Illyria's response...
does not die with the Prime Naru.
Hang on.
It shines within each of us.
We still have our purpose. We still have a world to save. We must press on.
You are right, Prophet. The mission still stands.
It's not quite Garaha's speech, but, you know, getting there.
Use every weapon at your disposal.
Though Zira is gone, her essence can still aid us in our struggle. Oh yeah, by the way, someone asked, is Zira dead? Oh yeah, Zira's gone. We don't even know what happens to Naru when they are destroyed like that. Also, not the first Naru we've seen destroyed.
You are the instrument of change.
I sense the light within these fragments. Do not lose hope.
Many depend on you.
Nobility in Zira's heart, relentless defiance of the Legion. Let that be her legacy. Ah! In building the Vindicar, we fashioned the Netherlight Crucible to harness the powers at play on Argus. I believe Zira's essence is one key to that potential, but the light alone is not enough. Without balance, there can be no harmony and no cohesion. Infuse this essence into the Crucible. It's the first step in unlocking the strength needed to end the Burning Crusade.
The light will guide your way.
Though her form has shattered, her light has not left us. Not yet. Her light cannot be allowed to fall into darkness. We must safeguard what we can within the Crucible.
We are, very unironically, using her corpse as fuel. Ignore the shadow one over there on the left. That's not there yet. Waste not.
Not all who wander are lost.
An important first step. We can bring balance to the Netherlight Crucible. I believe it'll make your weapon even more powerful.
You are the instrument of change.
I don't think he says anything different.
The hour has come at last.
Good question, Lord.
Something is amiss on this world.
The loss of Zira is a blow, especially to Turellian. But even the Light Mother could not be allowed to force destiny upon us. I wish Illidan had found another way to refuse her, but I too have had my choices imposed upon me by the Naru. This must not distract us from our mission. Now that we have the Army of the Light survivors with us, it's time to press the attack. We need a foothold on the Entoran Wastes.
Be just. The Legion has invaded your world. Now look upon theirs.
The beating heart of the Legion. Soon I shall tear it out.
You?
Light guide us.
Come, speak with me.
Much has happened on Argus that concerns me, but none so more than Zira's fate. I wonder sometimes if we're doing the right thing. But we must carry on. I can rig the Matrix core that powers the Vindicar to allow you to call on the power when you're on the planet. It's a very cool feature, which will get a gameplay positive. Yeah, now that you've seen the best, Evo, Jesus. Don't worry, we're not done giving negatives to Legion. So let's activate Light's Judgment. Gives us a special ability, 2-minute cooldown, that does an insane amount of damage and a stun in an AoE in front of you. There are other abilities we get out here, by the way. Fell monobombs. Interestingly enough, most monobombs are already fell energied. Oop. Yep, come on.
Our time is now, hero.
Light's Judgment will now fire on your command when you use the Matrix uplink. Perhaps you can find more objects we can link to it. Oh well, my friend.
May the Legion fall before you.
Hang on. Okay. Game's like, go take lunch. And I'm like, no. No, I want to beat this stupid thing. Game's like, no, you will beat it tomorrow. And I'm like, come on. I was about to say, how do you end the scene then, Huthor? I get your overall idea. Him.
Without faith, the battle is lost.
I'm missing a quest somewhere. And I'm not sure where. Here we go.
Dionys Arca.
Maybe? I'll figure it out off camera.
We fight for home. For
and I'll be back after the lunch break.